I've been working on this project for plastic tender trucks, of all things. This is the typical tender truck that we have on the American Flyer. It's all metal, it's riveted in place, and two wheels on one side contact the track and two wheels on the other side contact the track. So you have four-wheel pickup. These two are one side and these two are the other side. Then power goes into the engine and is distributed. There's a lot of angst with that. Track gets dirty, wheels don't get cleaned, and you lose contact. And as we add more digital stuff inside there, that gets to be more sensitive. So I had seen several types of all-wheel pickup, and I ordered one just to check it out. This is clearly for HO, but I was studying how they built them and how they worked to see if there was a way I could either convert or retrofit one of these old units, and came up with a couple of designs. This was the first design, the bolt-on. That wasn't too exciting. I tried it with the metal sides at first. Then I realized I didn't have enough metal sides. I was destroying the original connector tender trucks. I didn't want to do that forever, and so I started to come up with my own sides, and I wanted to make sure I had the pickups for the axles to get the power, and so I migrated along, and I came up with a different side frame that would pivot in the middle. And I got that idea from another unit that is similar, that I found, and it has springs, it has a lot of detail, and it's an injection molded part. It's very high quality, and it has a lot of detail. I didn't think I would be able to match that detail, and as you can see, I clearly can't. So the quest was to come up with a decent looking one that worked and would do what I want among all the varieties. And these are some of the variations as I went along. I tried to put a spring in, and that was a fail. Then I tried a different method. I went to a different plastic. Finally, I saw one that I liked. See how these springs, these are just molded in. They just apparently barely look like a spring. That's all you get. This one actually has real springs in it, but they don't really do anything. They're just there for appearance, and that's pretty exciting. So I thought, yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then I had one of my customers was watching all of this because I'm putting these on his tender, and he thought the spring idea was a better way to go. So after a few failed attempts at trying to make a spring, I agreed, and I made one, and it seemed to be okay. I took a spring and cut it and fit it, and I'll get a better spring, but that's the idea. But I was still plagued with what I thought was a poor quality, and I got online and I asked some guys online, about this, how to get better quality and such, and one fellow was quite helpful, of all places in Italy, but he gave me some hints, and I started working with what he had suggested, and this was one that I got out of him, or out of his information that he sent me. But it was still wrong at the bottom, and it took almost 4 hours. So I had to come up with a better idea. So I kept most of his parameters, but I sped the thing up. This came out in just over an hour, and it's quite acceptable, frankly. I mean, it's if I can get it to focus, it's quite detailed. There we go. And you can see where the springs will click in. You can see there's the little slots top and bottom. It has the right amount of spacing. There was still some stuff in there, and you can see there is some epoxy, not epoxy, super glue, where that lower piece, as I was cleaning out some of the nerds and that, it broke because it's very thin at that one point. So I may want to beef up that point so I can clean them properly. I still have the lines. I don't know if I want to put it in the tumbler or just maybe shoot it with some flat black and see what that does. But then I put the springs, and the springs will be somewhat more shiny, so that'll set things off. I think this will work. I know physically it's the right size and shape because I've already got several of this type. There's one that I made, kind of handmade, out of cutting. There's one of the original ones where I tried to print the things. So I think I'm okay. I'm going to try to print 3 more. That's what I think I'm going to do. That way I can build a whole truck, a whole tender with these pieces, and make sure that the fit and finish and everything is up to snuff. Then I'm going to have to make some springs, or find springs I can cut and make out of them. I may thicken that lower bar just a tad more. You see the upper one's much thicker. It looks like I have the space to do that as far as track clearance. It's on the other side. So I may do that and then print some more and see how it goes. But this is the project that I'm working on, and why it was important for me to get my machine printing as well as it can given the situation, because I've been doing this for weeks now and I need to come to a conclusion and finish it. But I can turn this over maybe with one hand. I'm pretty good at it. And show you the process of all-wheel pickup. Every wheel now touches the track and brings power up into the tender, and that gives the electronics inside full power all the time. No intermittence, no bangs, bumps, dropouts, whatnot, and that should be a very, very smooth operation right there. I'm going to build some more of these, and this is why this is important. The more you build, you got to get parts. The more parts it takes a day. You can't print 2 a day. That's crazy. So I have to do better. Okay, that's where I'm at. More later. Thanks for chipping, helping, watching, commenting, whatever. It's a long road, and I'm just, working it. Take care, gang. Bye.